This guy, General Manager Brandon Beane, you've spent a little bit of time in the stadium in the past.
Yeah.
What did you learn while you were here?
Well, this time of year, it's hot.
Yes.
So hydrate yourself and wear dark clothes.
Yeah, exactly. We're just basically melting. It's still 90 degrees. Brandon, you guys decided you wanted to come down for joint practices. What did you learn when you did the joint practice? Was it what you thought it would be?
Yeah, it was great. I was just talking to Coach Rivera right before I came over here, and we both basically said, hey, this is something we may continue in the future or have another chance. So it was a lot of fun. We got a lot of work out of it. And, it's something, it's game replication without being an actual game and not tackling. So fortunately, nobody suffered any major injuries on either team.
Now, this might be a dumb question, but why don't teams do it more often if everybody who seems to talk about it says that it's so beneficial?
Yeah, I think there's a trust factor, making sure the film doesn't go out so that you can work on things. Because when you play a game, every team's getting the film. Yeah. There's things that we did there and they did as well that the film won't go out. So there's that. And then there's also, we didn't have any brawls. We didn't have any big melees. Knowing that Coach Rivera and that Sean and Marty Hurney and myself, that we're going to control our guys, and everybody respected each other and worked, and that's the goal.
You guys went out, you signed Captain Munnerlyn. We talked to him when he was at joint practices, obviously very familiar with the situation here. He said that there is a lot that his new team, the Bills, can learn from his former team, the Panthers. In your estimation, what could your team now learn from those guys?
Well, they're a more veteran-savvy team. They've got some older leaders, and starting with Cam Newton, Greg Olson, Luke Kuechly. They've got a lot of guys with experience, with not only playoff experience, Super Bowl experience. So Gerald McCoy's here. There's a lot of players, Kawan Short, that this team's had that have had playoff success and all pros or Pro Bowls. So we're trying to build that. We're trying to be a team with sustained success, and we've got a lot of young guys that we want to have careers that mirror some of what they've got.
Now, one of the players that often gets brought up is obviously Josh Allen. He gets all of the attention. And a comparison that is also often made is Cam Newton. But you've had some interesting things to say about that. Why don't you think that's necessarily fair?
Yeah, I don't think it's fair to either one. I mean, Josh's 11 starts into his NFL career. So to compare him to someone who's an MVP, a Rookie of the Year, been to a Super Bowl, won an NFC Championship, like, that's not fair to Cam. Those are some of the things that Josh will want to do here, and hopefully get us to that big game. But to compare that, I understand the size, arm strength, those things. But it's too early in Josh's career to go there.
We talked to Luke Kuechly and we asked him what he thought of Tremaine Edmonds, and he called him a freak. So not comparing them, but what can a guy like Tremaine learn from somebody like Luke?
That's the great thing about Tremaine. I think he's even talked to Luke before he got here, and I know they talked here again. And, Tremaine's pulled up some of Luke's film. It's a very similar defense. Now, they're switching to a 3-4, but coming in this year, a lot of stuff Tremaine watched was how Luke played and some of his keys he read, and I know they talked on the phone. So, I mean, Luke is a defensive MVP, and like I said, he's won a lot of games, and, it's a great guy for Tremaine to learn from.
So now a couple injuries just to get updates on them. Do you have any update on Mitch Morris? Does he seem like he's trending in the right direction?
We do feel like he's trending in the right direction. We're trying to be cautious. Yeah. It's the preseason. You'll notice Carolina's not playing some guys, and we're still going to hold some other guys out too. You want to get work, but, we're still shooting for that, everybody to be ready for that first week of the Jets. So we'll be cautious, but we do think Mitch is trending in the right direction.
Now, how about Ty Nsekhe? I think he's not going to play this evening. Same thing?
Yeah, he's just had a little knee tweak, but he's fine. He'll be back hopefully next week, and we're going to hold him out tonight. Again, guys that have something going on like that, we just want to be extra cautious.
So you mentioned that the Panthers sitting some people tonight. What is the philosophy there? What's the balance of sitting guys who are going to make the roster, but also making sure they get that valuable playing time?
Yeah, it is a fine balance. You're also wanting to evaluate some of the guys behind them, because you got some tough decisions if you've got depth there. And so there's some guys that are not, frontline starters, but that are fighting for a spot on this team, and we want to see how they do, especially against some of Carolina's ones.
We talked last week. Devin Singletary had he raised some eyebrows, I feel like it's fair to say. Yeah. LaShawn McCoy is going to get to play this evening. Is there not a competition, but how much talent do you have at that position?
We're happy. We think we've brought in great competition. Obviously starting with LaShawn and Frank, and then we added TJ Yeldon, who's he's played a lot in this league, a versatile player, and then obviously Devin Singletary. Sonaris Perry made a couple plays for us last week too. Marcus Murphy's been around, so we like our depth there. The competition's wide open, and the great thing is everybody in that room, from the vets to the rookies, have all embraced it. They're all here to help each other. You saw that with Christian Wade's touchdown.
Yeah, that was great, by the way. I'm going to let you go get inside the air conditioning.